is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
My name is not Clara Towson. I don't know if I'm a friend of the show. I certainly have not been here for a while. But today, I'm back. I'm back, hopefully with a bang. Alex Michelsen against Holger Rune in the third round of the ATP 1000 in Cincinnati. I had to stop and think which round it was, since this event and just the general, last 2 weeks in ATP WTA tennis, it's been pretty ridiculous, to be honest. Like, it's both too fast-paced and too slow-paced at the same time. So my interest levels in these events, they've been varying, definitely. But, I was also at a couple of challengers, so I was coming back home or, to my accommodation pretty knackered, and then at night I wasn't really in the right mindset, to be honest, to watch Cincinnati or Toronto or Montreal action, but for a few exceptions. Michelsen Rune, it's a pretty decently interesting match, I'd say. Holger, of course, was a semi-finalist last year at this event. 2 match points against Francis Tiafoe. One of them, I think there was a net cord, if memory serves right. Now he's facing the danger of potentially falling out of the top 10. Alex, on the other hand, last week in Toronto, he had a couple, basically he made his first ATP 1000 quarterfinal. Would be pretty fun if he was going to do back-to-back or something. Let's see. Pretty massive forehand winner, cross-court, going for the love. In terms of, what I'm going to do here, basically, there is a slight possibility that I will have to exit the stream for 20-25 minutes. If that is going to be the case, we will figure it out on the fly. But, if you guys don't want that happening, you can text the Cancun Challenger organizers and tell them not to publish the draw up until Michelsen and Rune are done. They actually should have published it yesterday, like the organizers in Sumter or Sumter. I have no idea how it's pronounced. But anyway, that's not really the most important thing at the moment. For the love for Michelsen, this is their first meeting, by the way. And Alex is, sort of trying to win the biggest match of his career. He's defeated 2 top 10 players. But, the biggest scalp was number 9. And Rune is also presently number 9 in the ATP rankings. Not in the live rankings. As I said, he might actually exit the top 10 if he doesn't make the semifinals again. Of course, today is day 5 of the tournament, which means we are starting the third round. Lots of good matches in store. Cancun Challenger entries disappointing? No, I think the entries are good. It's just that they have to actually get the draw out at some point. But no, Cancun and Sumter, for all intents and purposes, they kind of work like 175s, right? But they aren't. By the way, my camera has stopped, which is weird. But we had a similar issue with Vange the other day. I don't know how. I don't know why it's happening, to be honest. It's a relatively new cable, so I think it should be connecting pretty nicely. Anyway, let me figure this out. But, you can still hear me, so that's decent. Now you should also be able to see me, but you can't. Oh, now you should be able to. Yeah. We'll see. I'll check it from time to time if it's fine or not. The worst possible scenario is just me talking and you can't see me, but that's, not the end of the world. So anyway, 19K. Oh, we actually just hit that seemingly. 5 subscribers over 19K. I did not know. I think the last time I was on the show, it was probably like 17, maybe. So definitely not my work. Definitely not something that I should be praised for. But well, good going. And soon enough, we might indeed find that 20K target, which, you know, I think we knew we would hit eventually, but it's definitely accelerated this year. Like the speed at which we're gaining subscribers is pretty amazing right now compared to last year, I'd say. And also, of course, there was that small, I don't even remember when it happened, but there was that moment when we didn't even have the channel, right? Like a year ago or something. And definitely felt like a very difficult target to hit at the time. Thank you, Jean. Yeah, during French Open 2024. Okay, so it's been a year, and I think we had about 10K maybe then, or maybe even less. So yeah, shows how quick it's been this season. Apparently, Bonn was the best challenger of the year, or sorry, last week. Sorry, just last week. I thought it was the best of the year. I mean, Kozerki, it had its moments. I think definitely the first time I've seen this many people at the venue, and having a first pole in tournament history, in the semis, in the final, then eventually winning the title was pretty special. The final between Michelsen and Prismic was awesome as well. Just, you know, in terms of the names and kind of the story, the narrative, 100% the best lineup in the final last week. But a certain problem that kind of emerged at some point was that so many matches this week were just pretty simple for the favorites. You know, Prismic on the way to the final never really struggled, and then in the final, Michelsen plays like so well and so smart that he can't do much. So there weren't any classics really in Kozerki. So yeah, I guess that's the one downside to it. I mean, I would have liked to see the Bonn Challenger as well, sure, if they were in different weeks. Maybe next year. During that time of the year, I'm supposed to be actually traveling somewhere not for tennis, I think. But yeah, we'll have to see how the calendar works. I'm hopeful that either Bonn or Kozerki will be available to me next year, depending on the scheduling. It's going to be a little different for sure, because, of course, also these events, so Toronto, Cincinnati, Montreal, they will be held at a different week. There's actually going to be a 3-week break after Wimbledon next year. And that's going to be certainly very helpful for these events. And for these events to once more kind of feel like there's something special, because this year, well, everybody is complaining, really. And I think there are certain criticisms that cannot really be, you know, just disproved. I mean, they are 100% correct. They are certainly things that the ATP and WTA will have to look at in the future. Either way, Cincinnati has a better lineup than the Toronto ATP event, right? You have Sinner, you have Alcaraz. Djokovic and Draper are still missing, but that's not really the fault of the scheduling anymore. And yeah, I mean, has it been a fascinating event so far? Depends. I mean, personally, I haven't watched too much of it. Partially time zones, partially because I just haven't found the excitement. But I'm actually planning to catch a fair few matches today, as Michelsen closes out the third game. Strong serving for sure. There's also been a lot of talk as well about the new venue in Cincinnati, which has also coincided with the new courts. Courts that some people say are a little slower than they were, but still nowhere near like, you know, a slow hard court or something like that. So I don't think it makes a major difference. The conditions as well have been tough, you know, brutal heat. So we've definitely seen that becoming a factor in some of the matches, especially perhaps the ones that like Michelsen and Rune, they're played early in the day. But yeah, I don't think the conditions have changed like drastically. For now, probably no major upsets. I mean, Sinner and Alcaraz are still through. Medvedev lost to Walton, but that just kind of doesn't feel as important anymore, unfortunately. Dennis Sentel will definitely keep reaping into Rune right now. I mean, he basically got them banned for like a day or two. Yeah, I mean, if Bonn had a run from McDonald, like Hagen or Hagen or whatever the pronunciation is did, right? That would have been better. Mackenzie won a round though. So I guess you can't expect that much. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Canada and Cincy will last, but we know that in terms of this 11, 12 day, I think it's even 12 day Masters, I don't think it will last. But we know that when such a pretty major structural change is made to the calendar, it's usually made for like a few years in advance. So it will also take a while for us to like give up on the idea, you know? And the tournament organizers, I mean, as much as there might be like pushback and criticism, the tournament organizers, they will see that there's more money and they will think, okay, so this is good, we should fight for it. And that will also potentially be an issue. Now, it's definitely way too late to change for 2026. The entire calendar has been released for a year now. I mean, I'm not even kidding, I don't think. The problem with a potential change is that like you're not replacing an event with another event. If you were to come back to the previous system right now, everything would change. Like everything later would have to like move back, unless you would do like Canada as Cincy and then 1 week of another 250 and then Winston-Salem. But then, you know, you kind of also start running into thoughts, maybe that's not perfect for the lead up to the slam and everything. Like there's no way anything changes in 26, but we might already see some calendar changes in 27. McDonald is going to have a better career than Mackenzie, 100%. It's not even close. Niels McDonald, Justin Engel, probably the best two German prospects right now. I'm not looking at like, you know, rankings, current results or whatever, although Engel is also the highest ranked of the 2007, 2008 generation. But just, yeah, in terms of applicability, I guess, at the main tour level, especially. Anyway, 1530 Rune here. First potential problem spot. I will actually have to check, to be honest with you. Yeah, I've been really out of the loop with these events. I will have to check who these guys even beat to get to this round. Because, yeah, I really haven't paid too much attention. I remember, of course, last week in Toronto when Michelsen was playing Tien, and then I think he lost to Karen Khachanov, which was a little bit of a disappointing result for him, I feel. They played a decent match. Well, actually, maybe it wasn't decent in Australia. Anyway, Holger with a pretty easy forehand into the net here. Also, Craig Boynton, fantasy in the Michelsen box. Of course, a former coach of many American players and Hubert Hurkacz. Since the split with Craig Boynton, it's not like Hurkacz's career is heading anywhere, but, well, that's probably more the issues with his injuries and the knee. We'll see when he's even back. Okay, so Rune is defeated Safiulin in the opening round. Yeah, I forgot about that match completely. Oh, and that's a double fault from the 2024 Cincinnati semifinalist, giving Alex Michelsen the first break. I mean, he has started better, serving great, hitting big. And Rune is kind of refusing so far to, well, I don't know. Well, okay, refusing was not the right word, but yeah, I mean, he hasn't made an impression in anything. We know that he has all the resources and kind of the skill set, the variety to kind of come up with a game plan, right? We'll see if he will be able to do it, or if maybe the pressure from Alex will be a little too much. Ouch. And that's the Cancun draw released to the producer. Can he take over for like 20 minutes and then I'll be back? Fantastic. So see you guys in about 20-25 minutes when I can tell you, Steve, how my trip was. But my trip was amazing. I'm just going to tell you that. And yeah, see you in like 20-25 minutes.
The timing is quite good, I would say, for Damien's absence, because it means I'm in a pretty free position right now to talk you through probably the remainder of this set, depending on whether Rune breaks back. And then when Damien returns in 20 minutes to half an hour, I can get on with my day. So actually, this is pretty good timing. Michelsen there showing an interesting face as he loses that point. It's 15 all here, by the way. Oh, we just gained a subscriber. How about that? Damien goes off the screen and we get a subscriber. Oh, and we just lost a subscriber. Oh, well, comes and goes. That's a nice point, by the way, 15:30, as he looks to strike back as soon as possible. It's a nice backhand pass down the line. Probably you should be making that 7 times out of 10 anyway. Hi, Gene, by the way. Hi, Jake. I'm not sure if this question from Deluded Steve is for me, but no plans from my side to be attending the US Open, and don't think anyone from the team will be there. Maybe Vanch might be there. I don't know. We'll see. And thanks, Gene, for the congratulations on hitting 19K. So no, 15:30 here as they exchange backhands, but that's a high risk backhand down the line there for Michelsen, and he just errs. So it's 15:40. So 2 breakback points here for the Dane to get it back on serve. Not quite sure where we are with Holger Rune right now. I mean, it's not quite panic stations, but you know, when was the last time he was in a big final? I'm gonna say because he was in Indian Wells final this year, but it was a long way off winning that match. I think it was straight sets. Oh, Michelsen there going way too big with a forehand, and Rune does indeed break back. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with you in about 60 seconds. Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks, including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material, such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you can hear me well. My stream has just decided to freeze, of course, at an inopportune moment. But I'm sure it'll be back. As we have Rune here, obviously feeling a bit better about his chances. 2-3. Serving.
Take your seats quickly, please. Thank you.
And in fact, he wins the first point. Just going to make sure my microphone is connected. I just had to rush and get it. Let's see. There we go. So yeah, do let me know your thoughts in the live chat on this match between Rune and Michelsen, but also get voting in our poll, and also let me know about some of the other sort of situations in tennis right now. Of course, Ben Shelton and Bocco winning big last week in Canada. Naomi Osaka courting a little bit of controversy in terms of her reaction to that defeat. So do let me know your thoughts on that. Hi, Marco, by the way. Do please hit the like button. And of course, if you are new to the channel, click subscribe. Who's winning right now? Well, basically, it's equal. They're on serve, albeit that Rune has 2 games and Michelsen has 3. But they are on serve, and if anything, I think Holger might be feeling a bit better about his chances, bearing in mind he was a breakdown. And he's up 30-15 here. We do have, I'm not sure if we're going to do a US Open, what do you call it? US Open power rankings, whether we'll do one very, very soon or whether we'll just maybe wait until after Cincinnati. Depends on Brenner's availability. But of course, I think players such as Medvedev losing to Walton. Oh dear, I'm not sure where we feel about or how we feel about Daniil right now. Whether he's going to be in the shape up. Holger Rune is held, by the way, for 3-all. So it's over to Michelsen to serve as he goes to the forehand of Rune, who deals with it pretty well. I do think the return of Holger is something that feels as though it's stagnated or maybe even deteriorated over the last 12 months or so. Anyway, of course, Patrick Mouratoglou is available, so who knows whether he'll be making another return to the Michelsen camp. So we had good relations with Stefanos Tsitsipas too. Good +1 there for Michelsen, by the way, 15-all. Yeah. I mean, Medvedev. When was his last big final, Medvedev? I'm going to say Australian Open 24. And his last title was Rome 23. I think his last title of any shape or form. I mean, Medvedev, he got his slam. And he had his run across all the hard courts, really, between 2019 and 2024. It's a pity he couldn't get that second slam. Obviously, 2 sets up on Sinner in 24 in Australia and up 2 sets to love as well on Rafa Nadal in 2022. But it's how it is. Indian Wells 24. Okay, yeah. So that was his last big final. Thank you. I forget about those Indian Wells finals because although he was in them, he was never in them, if you know what I mean. Anyway, Michelsen here has 2 game points. He's won 3 points back-to-back. Another nice forehand winner there from the American. So Rune here to receive at 40-15. It's going to be a second serve for the Dane to look at. Oh, I thought it was going to be a double fault. It got away with that one a little bit, did Alex. Half decent return from Holger. Now he's on the forehand of each player. Michelsen tries to change direction and pays the price because he misses once again. It's the second time now in the last couple of games where he's tried to change direction and it hasn't worked. That time, though, missed by some margin. The other one was very, very close. You're pretty new to Alex? Oh, that's really nice reaction from Alex at the net there, by the way. I mean, ceiling, I mean, he's probably where he is. That doesn't mean that ceiling in terms of his ability, and he might always have, for example, the 28th best ceiling on the tour, but your ceiling is not always dictating where you end up in the rankings, right? I mean, it might also be about his floor, and if he can stay consistent, I mean, it's obvious that top 20 is within his reach. Top 10, maybe. Do I see him winning a Grand Slam? No. Do I see him picking up a 1,000 or 2? Yes. I'm not saying that these players are similar in terms of style, but an Andrei Rublev type career might well be where Alex is at, which I don't think is too bad. A couple of 1,000 titles and a stint in the top 10. Yeah, that also that also is not, you know, a wild suggestion, let's say, Jake. But yeah, that's somewhere between sort of 8 and 20, maybe a 1,000 final in the next 18 months, maybe in a 1,000 title as well. Could get lucky in a slam and get to a semis or maybe even a final one at some point in his career. That's that. Lucky with the draw in a way, you know, sort of. Could he skittle over the opponents that Taylor Fritz beat, for example, en route to getting to the US Open final last year? I do think Fritz's ceiling is a little higher than Michelsen's. But yeah, we're not talking about Ben Shelton, no levels either, where I think Ben Shelton is, yeah, I don't know if he'll ever get to world number 1, but a ranking of, well, he's not far away right now, is he, from sort of 3, 4, or 5? Where are we with the live rankings, by the way? By the way, a bit like Damien, I'm out of the loop. So Shelton is currently 7 in the live rankings. But I feel as though he's not far off. Where is he? Shelton 4,000. You know, he could be, because he didn't have a great run in New York last year. Draper's obviously got semi-final points to defend there, has barely played in the last couple of months. So, yeah, he could be world number 5 after the US Open. Taylor Fritz and Zverev are pretty far in front of him, though. A good sort of 1,400 points to Taylor, and then it's basically 2,000. He is almost, or 1,700 points behind Zverev. So I think that'll be too big a gap to bridge, probably even this year. Never mind US Open wise. Rune here serving at 3-4, love 15. Backhand return from Michelsen. Backhand slice there from Alex is one of the worst slices you'll ever see, and it is 15 all. I mean, that was a loopy slice. That there's 2 things you want to do with a slice. Well, 3 things. You want it to go low over the net, you want it to bounce low, and you want it to bounce inside the court. And it didn't tick any of those boxes. 15 all. Pretty far out. First serve there from Holger Rune. 16 of you watching right now on YouTube, please do hit that like button. And if you haven't already done so, click subscribe. And if you click subscribe, you'll see that little number just below me tick over in real time. It was a Steph-like slice. I think even Steph's slice are better than that. Is that the former Djokovic and former Sinner fitness guy in the Rune camp? Might well be. And that forehand return from Michelsen is, well, we talked about top 20. I think that wasn't even a top 500 return there. 30 all. Yeah. He's changed employers pretty quickly because it wasn't long ago he was with Novak. Maybe a year ago. What about Carlos dropping a set to Jamur yesterday on a hard court? Oh, Carlos. Backhand return there from Michelsen. Tried to be aggressive and tried to sort of do a Holger Rune type return, but it failed miserably, went into the net. And that backhand from Michelsen goes long, and it's 4 games all. A second set siesta, says Gene. Yeah, that's Carlos, isn't it? I'm not doom and gloom though yet on Holger. I mean, he's still very young. It's not like a Medvedev scenario where Medvedev's best days. Oh, what a good return that is from Holger. So with Holger, he just needs consistency. Medvedev, best days have gone, really, I think. In fact, I was saying that 18 months ago, that I didn't think he would be in another slam final. I didn't think he would in another slam, or certainly not. I certainly was saying I don't think he's, after he loses that final to Yannick, and he's not going to be getting to the finals of Wimbledon or the French. Double fault here for Michelsen, love 30. I did think that was that. That was Craig Boynton that I heard Damien talk about earlier. Clips the net, lands in, so it's going to be another first serve for Michelsen. Was this a 50-50 before we went into the match? Just in terms of where both are right now? Yeah, quite possibly. But right now, though, it's Holger Rune, who's very much in the ascendancy. Love 40, 3 break points for the Dane. And Michelsen there was bouncing the ball and it hit his foot, which has been indicative of the way he's been playing over the last 10 minutes or so. So 3 break points here for Holger. It's a good serve down the tee. It's going to be a +1. It should be, although he's put that in a weird position, but he's got away with it. And it's 15-40. How's it going?
Yo, yeah,
quick.
I'm back. Yeah, I just had to record like a 10-minute section of the podcast and then basically send it out. Nothing more. Yeah, I waited for the Cancun draw. Usually I'm supposed to get it delivered by like 4 p.m. maybe, so it really wasn't a big delay, and obviously I explained everything. Anyway, I'm back now. Cancun draw also includes a surprise wildcard for Daniel Altmaier, top seed, but otherwise not many surprises. I am kind of surprised by how this match has gone since I was
Yeah, it's changed quickly. Rune probably hasn't had to do a huge amount. Michelsen, changing direction on a couple of occasions and both failed miserably. There's a double fault in this game, for example. There's, some unforced errors as well. I mean, there's one there from Holger Rune, really, with, Alex was vulnerable at the net there and was passable, let's say that, but Rune didn't manage to do it. And has he got away with that? I think he has. So it's at Juice, right? I don't know where your stream is at.
Yeah, I'm already even 1 point ahead, and it's just a big serve from down the tee from Alex. So it looks like he will be getting out of this mess. Sorry for the ambulances outside. I suppose they will be going by.
Yeah, they're not coming for Daniel Medvedev's career.
I mean, I'm kind of scared to ask what happened there. When I was in Kozerki, actually, on Saturday, a boy almost drowned in a pool next to the courts. A helicopter had to, fly by. There was some, the fire squad came by as well. Anyway, he
No such
survived.
drama in Bonn. No such drama in
No
Bonn.
such drama.
They moved the location this year. Last year,
you said that, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of complaints about the courts last year. I don't know whether that was the deciding factor in the move. But it was a smaller venue this year, but it worked. And there seemed to be less complaints about the courts. I mean, that's just off the top of the head guess. There were a few funny bounces, but it's a challenger on clay.
Yeah, it's always going to happen. It's not Roland Garros, obviously.
No. Ooh, that's a nice forehand pass for Michelsen. A little cultured, a little different. Had to react quickly.
What was I going to say? I mean, there was something that I wanted to mention when you said that about Bonn. I don't even remember now. Anyway, never mind.
I mean, Botic pulled out on the eve of the tournament. Now, I know Botic is not exactly, the most exciting player on clay, blah, blah, blah. But that was a slight little jolt just on. And it was really late. I think it was Sunday night. And he didn't have a super deep run in Hagen. So I don't know whether there was a genuine injury there or not. But,
No, probably not. I mean, just the sheer idea of playing these events, is kind of controversial in his case, I suppose.
And Michelsen holds as another Rune pass fails. There was some other things as well. Benny Hassan losing on the opening day. I think Nagal as well. These are, the Nagal and Hassan sort of are cult players in a way that have followings and interests. And Nagal, of course, being Indian means that there's always going to be some Indians around that'll have some interest.
He lives in Germany too, right? So
yeah, I didn't know that until I spoke to him about 10 days ago. And so, so just it wasn't bad. We had some good matches. We just didn't have, the Germans, as I said in the live chat earlier, having big runs. I mean, Mackenzie, there was a 48-hour flurry because of his win on Monday, meaning, that he was in the tournament until Wednesday. But, what kind of career he's going to have. And what about Schönhaus and McDonald? Because Schönhaus wins the first set in that French Open final. But it is McDonald that's making a few more waves at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, McDonald looks absolutely insane, to be honest.
Do you think? Because, I mean,
yeah.
I didn't see his first set against Nagal when I know Alex, amongst others, Alex from Twitter, that is, was purring over his performance in the first set against Nagal. And he did seem to have in the third set, it was, although he was a breakdown, I think, at least once, maybe twice, in the third set against Nagal in Hagen, it was sort of on his racket. I kind of said that to Summit last week in Bonn. I saw him just wandering around before his loss, by the way. I was like, what about McDonald? And Nagal was kind of saying like, well, and this wasn't like, and I don't think I'm giving away too much, but it was just a casual conversation. He was just like, well, yeah, he was hitting freely and blah, blah, blah. But I think there's something there. I don't know how big a career, but of the three Germans I just mentioned, I guess he's certainly top of the tree.
Yeah, him and Engel, I think. Of course, you didn't mention Engel, but from that whole generation,
Engel played Poland,
the
by
best.
the way, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Defeated our friend Alejandro Morocañas.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
So did Morocañas play Porto the week? When was that? Yeah, it was the week before.
Porto. He lost in the semis in Porto.
Okay, so that's 2 years in a row he's had decent runs there.
Oh yeah, definitely loves the conditions, the courts.
And I see this year
pretty similar too.
What's his name? The Dane who won it last year in Porto. I should know better now. Because he's had a good year, really, hasn't he, in terms of winning matches at slams and stuff.
I mean, he was 6-14 until Wimbledon.
Right. Okay. Yeah, but it's all about
Yeah, I mean, since then he's definitely had a good.
Yeah, but he's been in the US, I think, hasn't he? Has Holger just won that point? I think he has, hasn't he? I'm watching on my phone.
After Cincinnati, after Wimbledon, he just went for a longer US trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's worked out. I mean, he's already claimed the title, so.
Strange scheduling from so I know I'm bouncing around topics here, but oh dear, my mind's going blank. He was in the Bonn Open final yesterday, lost. Skatov.
No, Skatov.
So he was telling me that I looked at. We just had a chat about his last. Well, we'll say 12 months. Well, it was actually 13 months. Because I was really interested in some of those sort of narrow losses he had. Unfortunately, he repeated that, of course, in the final in a way. But he barely played after October last year, which is unusual. And he told me he wasn't injured or anything. He just had some time off before getting into the Australian swing sort of thing a bit earlier. Although I think he might have played. Not sure if he played Thailand a week before or a week after. But yeah, just unusual scheduling, and he said he won't be doing that again.
I wasn't aware, to be honest. So when did he finish?
October,
middle of October, just one match in October. Okay, yeah, he definitely called it a bit earlier than most. Yeah. I mean, I
thought he was going to win the final. I thought he was going to win the final.
Yeah, I,
against
I
Holger?
watched his semi against Corignon. Was really good. I
Yeah.
also talked to him earlier this season, and I kind of just like floated this theory that obviously he had to agree with, but that his game hasn't really declined from 2024. It's just like it's weird that he's not getting the same clay results. Like I don't think
Yeah.
Timofey Skatov is a top 100 player or anything, but he should be winning like 2 challengers on clay a season or something like that.
Yeah.
And often he was. It's just that like this year it's not been working out, and he just told me that basically he feels like he's improved every single aspect of his game, and yet the results just aren't coming. So finally, he gets one.
Rodionov had a crazy serving day as well yesterday. Although maybe Scat, it's always difficult to know. Is the server serving bombs, or is the returner maybe not? Maybe doing him too many favors in a way. I don't know.
Yeah,
Skatov
I
at
mean,
midway through
I
the
was
midway
barely following
through the
it on
third
my
set had some
phone.
attention to his shoulder, but I didn't notice anything wrong with his shoulder. But he did he had a medical timeout midway through the third set when he was already. I think he just went the double break down. He went 4-1 down. He got one of those breaks back, and at 15 all, when Rodionov is trying to serve it out for a second time, you're thinking, okay. But Rodionov was missing as well at that point. His backhand just suddenly went for a couple of games, and that was enough to get the break back, and also for Skatov to hold.
Oh, I know
But,
what I wanted to say earlier. I wanted to congratulate you
Okay, on
losing a subscriber. Since
oh, okay, yeah, I know. Well, it's weird. It went up to it's you left. We've actually lost 2. You left,
Okay.
and it went up immediately. And I was like laughing, "Oh, Damien leaves," and we got up to 19,006, and then we've lost 2 subscribers since then.
Maybe that was karma for the joke.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
yeah, this last game was actually way more tough for Rune than we made it seem. I mean, there were a couple of, let's say, focal points. The big return from Michelsen to get to 30 all, but he went for a similarly biggish one to lose it. And now we will have some sort of a video review. I think it's about a double bounce, maybe. Let me rewind the point because I saw the ending of it. And it was Holger winning like this cat and mouse exchange, but maybe something happened in the lead up to that.
My stream is just frozen with the umpire
Okay.
obviously talking into the mic, about to say we're gonna have a video
Yeah,
review.
I just rewinded it. I'm gonna watch it again. So Holger, yeah, it's about whether he catches this one. Gonna be interesting. I mean, it's tough to say from the stream if the ball had backspin or topspin on it. No idea. Seems like he didn't make it from this angle, but now they're gonna show us a different one. Yeah, I think it's Point Michelsen, but it's very close. I mean, definitely can't believe that Holger might not know, but yeah, I mean, I think it's Point Michelsen. Let's see what the video review officials will say. Holger had a famous, or rather infamous, I'd say, double bounce incident at the French Open some years back when France
Oh
Rune
yeah,
wrong.
in a
Yeah,
5-setter that he won. Yeah.
yeah, and in that one he was certainly wrong not to admit it. Here I can believe that he maybe didn't know, but yeah, Point Michelsen.
Yes, that was a 5-setter. Was that the same year and the same probably 24 hours more or less that when Sinner lost his 5-setter to?
Not really,
his-
no. I mean,
Wasn't
Fran
it?
made 4th round at the French 2 years in a row, so it wasn't the 4th round.
Okay, and what was
And
the other one?
Sinner
Second round?
Altmaier was the 2nd round, yeah. So it would be like 4 days apart.
Oh wow, by the way, that is easily double bounced. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. On the angle that they showed eventually, indeed, was pretty obvious. Eventually, yeah, yeah. But I mean, of the TV angle, not really.
Yeah, I just looked at the Cancun challenger lineup and just thought, okay. I mean, okay, that was before Altmaier probably entered the draw, but
I mean, it's decent. It's basically a 175. I know it's a 1-5 in name, but it works the same. The top 4 seeds get buys. It's there for the players who lost in Cincinnati, more or less. But yeah,
yeah.
of course, these fields are split between Cancun and Sumter, really. So Sumter has Jacob Fernley in the qualifying, which is pretty insane.
Just having a look now again at the Cancun entry list. Okay, Keso.
Also 6 challengers next week, so it's like not easy to get the biggest players, I suppose. Although only Cancun and Sumter will have any top 100 guys. Manarino was supposed to be in Barranquilla, but of course he's still in Cincinnati, and Taberner pulled out of Toddy.
Jan Leonard Struff, 143 in the world now. Oh, Stan Wawrinka's playing Cancun.
Yeah, with a wild card.
Okay. So yeah, that it's okay. One of the losses that I spoke to Skatov about was a loss that he had to Stan.
Oh yeah.
He was also
like 3 hours and change. Yeah.
Was that Bratislava or somewhere else?
Bucharest.
Bucharest. Sorry, yeah.
There's no ATP to Bratislava.
Yeah, Bucharest. Yeah. So sometimes as well, I would just look at the score and go, "Oh, that was a tough loss," and he would go, "And I was serving for it as well," or something like that. I don't know if that...
So what, did you just like have your phone out and we're looking at the results?
So I'm recording with my lap. Yeah, me and him are looking at the laptop. So we're just
okay.
He'd won his semi-final, and I mean, you know how it is in terms of access at challenges. It's pretty easy. And I just got him again, basically, after I did the sort of 2-minute post-match interview. I said, "Listen, I've just been looking at your last 12 months, and I knew he's in a good mood because he just made the final, of course." So I was like, first final in 13 months. Can we have a chat and look back on some of your matches over that 13-month period? So we did.
That's pretty interesting, actually. I'd like to do that with somebody. Yeah, I don't know if Skatov is. I mean,
it was just the fact that he got to his first final in 13 months. So it was quite nice to sort of reflect on that final. I called it Troy, but I don't know how you pronounce that French. Troy, yeah. So I just said Troy, and we just went from that juncture. We did 10 minutes basically. I mean, you can always spend half an hour, but you want to race through it if you can. Obviously, there's some slam qualifying in there as well to discuss. And a few other sort of, let's say, close losses and stuff. And
there's not going to be any slam qualifying to discuss at the US Open for him. But
no, exactly, which was also a talking point.
Yeah,
that was pretty much the end of our conversation as well. No slam qualifying in New York, and I think it's the first slam in a year or 15 months or something since he last failed to make the qualifying.
I think he didn't make Roland Garros last year, which actually worked out pretty okay for him because he won Augsburg the same week as Roland Garros qualifying was played. Yeah.
Okay. Augsburg, is there an event coming up there? Maybe it's an ITF one. I'm not sure.
That was, last year it was in May. I'm not sure if it was held this year. I don't know.
There's some event, but it might not. It might be just another city that sounds very similar to Augsburg that's coming up. But that might even be ITF, not Challenger.
I think it was the one with the funny Schwaben Open name or something like that. It's only funny if you're like Polish because we basically have this derogatory term for Germans, Schwabe or Schwab. Okay. So, I mean, I know it's a region, but after the war, it kind of became.
Germans make fun of the region, I think, because of the accent there.
Yeah, I think Schwabe or Schkope definitely became like words that can be used in this context for Germans. So.
You know what?
Anyway,
a Polish exit? Have you heard of that expression?
Polish what?
Polish exit. It's used in German. Do you know what it is?
Polish exit?
I think in Poland you call it a British or an English exit, by the way.
I don't know.
When you leave a party, I think early without saying goodbye.
I don't think it's common here in any phrase, really.
I thought maybe
I think it exists, but I can't remember because I haven't heard it in years.
Some languages use French, like a French exit. Some have English exit, and some have a Polish exit. And in Germany, they call it a Polish exit. I'm sure there's also others around the world as well.
Polish exit would be when you also steal something from the.
Well, there's a lot of those kind of jokes in Germany, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, about the stealing for sure. I think that just missed by a tiny bit from Alex, so looks like we might be heading to a breaker. Feels pretty okay to me. He's very frustrated about this for some reason. I think we're going to watch the close call. In Kozerki, actually, for the first time in Poland, we had electronic line calling.
Okay. We didn't
And
have
some
that luxury.
players, I feel like, did not quite realize that it was line calling. Like, I think some of them were wanting to challenge. Like, they thought that the replays were going to change something. But no. That's not how it works, guys.
So we've got Chicago. Oh, that was last week, Chicago. Okay.
Yeah. 6 challengers this week, so it's quite massive. Cancun, Sumter, Barranquilla, Todi, Sofia, and Chersonesos.
Yeah. I remember a social media post from our friend Stefanos Tsitsipas. Well, he's not really a friend at all, but the tennis's friend. I don't mean talking tennis's friend. Tennis's friend, Stefanos. It was a funny post from him encouraging people to go to. I think are there 2 challengers in Greece this month? Oh, there's 2.
I think so. I mean, definitely there were 2 in March, and now it's Chersonesos 3. Maybe there's also Chersonesos 4. I'm not
It's
sure.
back to back, so from the 11th to the 16th, and then the 18th to the 23rd.
Oh yeah. Okay, then it's number 3 and 4 this year. Yeah.
Then we've got
all same venue, and looked pretty good as well when they had the multiple cameras for the finals. Like, looks like the complex is stunning.
And you got the I mean, there's obviously bunches of other challengers, but you got Rafa Nadal challenger again, first week of the US Open. Oh, Winston-Salem has a challenger after the US Open, the first week after.
Oh, that's new. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Alex Michelsen pulled out of Winston-Salem today, but that's of course of the ATP 250, not the challenger.
Yeah. By the way, tennis's friend Stefanos Tsitsipas is in that draw. At least he is at the moment.
Took a wild card, yeah.
I say for the moment. I mean, if he gets to like the semis in Cincinnati, that might change things.
I mean, I think it's more likely that he will not.
I think it's like he won't. Although I don't know what I know he's got Bonzi next, so that's winnable.
Oh, that's winnable. I mean, he did beat Marozsan as well, which surprised me a little.
And then he's in the round of 16 if he wins that.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess there's a chance. Most recent ATP 1000 hardcourt final was here in Cincinnati. I don't know if that's weird there,
Really?
or maybe it's the fact that he lost to Chorich, or maybe it's the fact that he defeated number 1 Medvedev in the semis. Number 1 Medvedev. How does that sound right now?
And he did a dance in that. I think upon winning that match, or maybe it was winning a set, and that dance was kind of not quite replicated, but was certainly another dance came from Medvedev a year later. Okay, yeah, that Chorich defeat I think was pretty jarring though. I mean, Chorich had a great tournament and maybe would have won the title anyway, but he just faded big style in that final. And I don't mean physically; I just mean in terms of his tennis.
Can't remember
from losing the
well.
tiebreak, I think.
Yeah, I just kind of remember more so like the entire week of Chorich, how he played, or the kind of tennis that he played, but not the specifics of the final. Well, speaking of this tiebreak, Rune plays a super high lob. It's not a deep one, but it's enough to get the error from Alex. It does seem like Holger is trying out some different stuff, though. There's a couple of short slices he plays here, just kind of slowing things down, not allowing Alex to crack anything. And Michelsen just, well, he can't crack anything, so he cracks himself with the slice miss. And it's going to be 2 mini breaks right now for Rune.
There was a bad smash as well.
Yeah. Just, the lob was super short, but it was super high. And
that's 2, by the way. There was a horrible slice from Michelsen when you were off air for a little while.
I mean, watch this point. Watch this point right now.
I'm a bit behind. I've just seen the horrible slice, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's what I was referring to. The slice.
Okay. Yeah, but the slice before was even worse. Honestly, I know that slice was not great, but it was off the back of a couple of mean slices from Holger. The one before.
Seems like the heat is definitely going to be a bit of a factor here. I mean, but both players are struggling a little. Just seeing some photos of Holger dying there, but he is winning for now, 5-1.
there was a pretty big racket smash from Rodionov at the end of the first set yesterday. So he loses the first set. And actually, I didn't see it. But I heard it. I was about 50 meters away from the court, but wasn't in a position to see it. And yeah, maybe it was even before the end of the first set because I was there. Maybe it was the game before. Anyway, whatever. It was an epic one. I missed though. That's 2 racket smashes now, and I wanted to get the racket afterwards. There was one in Hagen the week before. I can't remember from who, but I was like, I'm going to get that from the bin. And the ball boys were too quick in Hagen. This week, I was too slow because it was there in the bin for 15 minutes after the match finished, and I hadn't thought about it. It was only when I saw one of the ball kids get it, I was like, damn, I could have got that.
Yeah, in Kozerki, Engel gave his racket away to a child. Was pretty nice.
But the racket was smashed, or?
Yeah, the racket was smashed.
Okay.
And he told them because he came over for like an autograph or something like that, the kid afterwards.
Okay.
And Engel told him that like never smash your racket. It was a bad thing to do, but here you go. Anyway, I mean, there was a massive return from Alex there. Maybe too little too late, and definitely too little too late after the smash, or overhead volley or whatever. So it's 2 misses like that in the breaker. I mean,
this is not even top 500 level. This
Rune has done okay at like maybe keeping him a little bit on his toes, just different sorts of points and tactics. But still, I mean, that's 2 points. If you give them to Michelsen, it's 5 for Alex.
Yeah.
And instead, we have 3 more set points for Rune after he lost one of them. And will it be enough? Ooh. Rune he looks like he's about to collapse in this heat. I think it's going to be good for him to try to take this tiebreak and just go, sit under an umbrella. But for now, Michelsen is not allowing him to do that. Not much sting on that +1 forehand from Rune.
Ooh, that's a nice backhand on the line from Michelsen.
Yeah, Michelsen just smashes that one. So only 2 more set points. Will this get rough? It might, but it won't, as Michelsen dumps the next backhand into the net. 7-4, definitely breaker that Alex will be regretting. Before the tiebreak, I guess Rune was maybe the one slightly with like a couple more chances, but
and momentum as well.
Still very close, yeah. Holger 55 minutes in will have like the confidence, the momentum after winning the first set, but also have to monitor how he'll be doing in this heat. Nurland.
What was your match of the week for the challengers?
This week, I actually went with Skatov and Collignon.
Okay.
But what's winning the poll so far, I think, is Holmgren against Su in Chicago semis. I actually didn't watch it, so fair enough. From Kozerki, it was tough to find classics. Engel Morokanias was pretty good. The Mike Shack ones against Ivashka, Glinka, both of them, I think, very comparable. But as I said earlier, I just think a lot of matches later into the event in Kozerki, they were pretty much just done, in straights, or after 15 minutes, you knew who was going to win. So not too many thrillers. And yes, Skatov Collignon I watched. It was after the singles semis in Kozerki. I went to the press office. There was a big break before the doubles final. And I watched pretty much the entirety of it. So I chose that one as my match of the week.
Someone who I forgot about who was in Bonn, Cecchinato, lost his second round match. Just a sort of a name, I would just randomly say that guy there beat Djokovic in the French Open in 2018.
He beat Prismic in the Milan final in June. Has had a bit of a resurgence lately, a little bit. I know though the feeling. I mean, last year when I was in Poznan at the M25 event, and I was watching Daniil Ostapenkov. I don't know if you know why he's famous.
No.
He's the guy who beat Diego Schwartzman in Davis Cup a couple of years ago on clay in Buenos Aires, in Argentina.
Okay.
The odds were like 100 or something like that. And he beat him in
Okay.
straights. And when you tell somebody, you know, at a random ITF event, because Ostapenkov never progressed past that this guy beat, you know, Diego Schwartzman, Davis Cup, Buenos Aires. I mean, they just look at you like you're crazy. And then they check it and like, what the hell happened?
I mean,
So,
that was maybe the beginning of the end for Schwartzman.
Sorta. I mean, he actually had some very decent results after that. I think it's like 2021 maybe that he lost.
Oh,
to
okay.
Ostapenko.
Okay, so it's
So
quite a while
many
ago.
people after that were just calling it, you know, a fix or something like that. I mean, I have serious doubts because, like, why would he fix a Davis Cup match?
Schwartzman
Why would
in his
a
own
millionaire
country, yeah.
fix? Let's start from that. But
Right, yeah.
nonetheless, I also understand that people can't quite seem to grasp why this happened. Yeah, it was 2021 September,
Okay.
and actually Ostapenkov had never even played an ITF match before. He only lost to Kepfer in Davis Cup, winning 2 games, and then he played Diego Schwartzman, and he lost 4-6. I mean, he beat him 6-4, 6-3.
Schwartzman made the quarters, I think, at the French that year, losing to Nadal.
I think so, yeah. And Ostapenkov's
took a
career
step off.
high is 840. At the time, of course, he was unranked. Toilet break, over 2 minutes, so I think we still have some time. It's Holger who went there.
Yeah.
I wonder if they also have that heat rule in place. So, like, if it goes to the third set, it's a longer break or not.
Okay.
I think it's like over 30 Celsius that has to be on the day or something like that.
What do you think of Joel Schwartzler?
I mean, he won that challenger last year very early, and I don't think he was quite ready. But, you know, the potential is super obvious, and I'm glad that actually when he lost these points, he had to play a few ITFs in a row, just get more playtime. And yeah, I mean, I think he can be absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I think of the 4 semi-finalists. I mean, I could even go back to the quarterfinals, but certainly the 4 semi-finalists, he's the one who's going to have probably the best career amongst those 4 semi-finalists.
I mean, definitely has the highest upside. You know,
Yeah.
Rodionov, Collignon, already top 100 players. You know, it's not that
Yeah.
easy to beat, but like, they are going to probably more or less peak around that level, right? Of like,
I know the
60,
more
70
experienced
ranking.
players often say this kind of thing, but Rodionov afterwards is like, you know, he's going to have a good career. And I don't know
Yeah.
if he meant better than my career, but that's in a way kind of what I read between the lines.
Yeah, I think when
Collignon,
Rodionov
by the
like
way,
first emerged onto the scene, there was a moment when people thought he was going to be like a mainstay in the top 100, but it kind of died quickly.
I thought Collignon was going to take the title. It was not exactly the most outlandish prediction. Obviously, in Bocic's absence, he became I think the highest ranked player. But I think he became the highest ranked player. Not sure, but I think he was. But in that semi-final against Gatov, one looked like a very good mover on the surface, and one looked less so. And it was Collignon who looked less so. And I know he's decent on clay. I mean, he told me about an injury he got in Hamburg this year with his thumb that was a bit weird and was a bit freakish, and that obviously ruled him out of the French Open main draw, which would have been his first slam, maybe.
Yes, that was pretty brutal, and in fact, for a while it seemed like it might also rule him out of Wimbledon. So it was a horrible moment to get injured. Yeah, he lost to Nakashima in Hamburg via retirement.
Yeah. And I think it was a freak accident. I think he fell and got his thumb caught in the racket, or maybe on the floor. I'm not sure. John, do you also get? I'm glad we've got something that I feel really good to talk about here. Do you also get the feeling this is arguably the best transfer window for Man United in 10 years? I mean, the thing is, Nurlan, I have probably on 2 or 3 occasions thought this over the last, 11 years, I would say, I think, or 12 years probably. And yet it's never materialized. In fact, there was one, what looked like on paper to be an amazing one under Louis van Gaal in, I'm going to say 2014, when we brought in Schneiderlin from Southampton, who was basically the guy with all the best stats in that role, in the holding midfield role from the previous season. We brought in, obviously, a big name in Schweinsteiger. We got Di Maria as a late, I think it was really must have been late August. We got him in. He was pretty late signing, but there was all the, fanfare regarding him and his talent obviously come from Madrid previously. I think we got Daley Blind in that one, who was arguably the best one. We got Marcus Rojo in, and we spent 200 million, which would be like 400 million today, or maybe more. And I think they were all failures, basically. Or Blind was okay, but yeah, Blind had a better career when he left. Well, like a lot of these players, they always do better when they leave. It was just a horrible window setting the tone for the last 10 years. So it seems on paper Nerlan, but it's interesting that the philosophy of basically all Premier League proven sort of players has been the philosophy this summer in terms, well, not Sesko, but the two forwards from Wolves and Brentford. And now if we do get the boy from Brighton as well, it's an interesting sort of philosophy to...
The boy from Brighton?
Baleba, I'm probably...
Yeah, I know.
Okay, again, it's sort of one of those that's kind of, let's go for the best players that have done amazingly in the last 12 months. And it's interesting. The reason I say it's interesting is because we've got a Portuguese coach, and it would be very easy for him to, go to the Portuguese league, and especially Sporting Lisbon, and just get some players from there. But say, well, yeah, he's the boy went to Arsenal, the striker.
Yeah,
who Jamie Faria, among others, does the whole celebration. So we're keeping it to tennis tenuously, because Jamie Faria, I think when he wins matches, sometimes does he probably won't be doing it anymore, I guess. I don't know.
No idea. I mean, Gyökeres already played in the Premier League, didn't really do well, but maybe he's gonna come back stronger. Who knows?
Right, I'm gonna leave now, and we'll see how long this lasts.
Absolutely. By the time, but while we were talking, Holger Rune came back from the toilet break, and he has now held in the second set. Both guys seem to be struggling with the heat, so perhaps this first set will turn out to be even more important than it seemed. In the meantime, I was also watching Budkov Kier losing in Todi, or maybe not losing because he just saved 3 match points against Juan Bautista Torres, but still he is in trouble. Maybe some of you will be surprised by that. Of course, recently won 2 challenger titles. Looks like he might not keep up the winning run, but who knows? Torres is going to be serving for the match. And he's not a particularly strong server, so I could imagine this being a potentially difficult scenario for him if in the previous game he already struggled. Anyway, of course, our main focus here is Rune against Michelsen. Holger is changing his shoes or something like that. I mean, I think every single thing he has by now is just drenched in sweat, so he should be changing all of it. I am also quickly responding to a certain email, but that will only take me 20 seconds, don't worry. Basically, somebody who can't read asking me a question. It happens. Okay, responded to the email. So I can now come back to Alex Michelsen, who could really use a hold here and obviously needs some sort of a momentum shift, some sort of a fight back. I was laughing at that Schweinsteiger Darmian comment earlier because I just read Schweinsteiger and Damien at first, and I was like, why the hell am I in the same sentence with Basti Fantasti, as they used to call him? But well, anyway, turns out it was just Matteo Darmian, not me. Baleba, I've never heard of him until the other day when I read that he was, a potential move to United. But Of course, Mbuemo and Cunha and Sheshko. These are great moves and pretty stunning attacking free, if you can call it that. It's just the defense still sucks. And I don't know if Onana is going to be the main goalkeeper or not, but oh my. No, that guy stinks. Anyway, Michelsen is fighting here to get a foothold in the second set. Goes for the serve and volley, but it feels very like, he doesn't really have any other idea and wants to end the point early in this heat. So it's going to be a breakpoint Rune. I am a bit afraid for Alex's future in this match if this is how we're going to see it. I mean, in this heat, it just seems like both mentally and physically losing that opener has taken its toll. Let's see what happens now. Breakpoint down. He needs something special here to get himself out of trouble. But he's just going to dump his forehand into the middle of the net. Yeah. Presently, it's Holger Rune who's not really flying, because I don't know if you can be flying in these conditions. Fair enough. But, he's got the momentum. He's got the advantage. Alex has definitely lost it a little bit mentally and physically after that opening set. 21% first serves unreturned from Michelsen, 46% from Rune. Now, that's a pretty insane number for Holger. And I don't think this is, due to Holger serving unbelievably. I do think in this case, as John mentioned earlier, you always kind of have to wonder about that. I think it's mostly just Alex being very aggressive on them. And since the early break, that strategy not really panning out at all. And yeah, right now he just seems a little lost mentally, physically. Let's see if he can fire back, but he's messing up his forehand here as well. 7-6, 2 love, 30 love up. The scoreboard is running away from him. Rune is pretty comfortably ahead at the moment. However, on this occasion, the super deep, aggressive, flat return at Holger's feet is enough. I mean, this is a weird match to watch because you can see both guys are just like drenched in sweat and they are really not enjoying the conditions in Cincinnati today. But I mean, it's also a battle of attrition, right? Survival of the fittest. I mean, somebody will have to win this match. And for now, it's Holger who's in the more comfortable position, who's in the driver's seat. And it's another forehand that he just kind of doesn't move his feet away from. He's hitting it so quickly off the bounce, but he doesn't even like get close to making it. Oh my, and Budkov-Kier has actually broken back. Torres is just failing so much in these like last few games. Suddenly he's just slicing a lot and hoping that Nikolai will make errors. It's a pretty wild watch as well. Well, here Michelsen finding a good drop shot. Oh no, sorry. I mean, Rune played a drop shot, but then Alex with the redrop was able to turn things around. Nice casual looking volley there at the end. And that's a very aggressive second serve from Rune. The kick getting away from Alex there. He does not get to the ball. 7-6 free love, and this first set tiebreak just looks massive right now. This just looks like a match that might be decided by it, but maybe there's still more to come. We'll see. Yeah, Gene, I was mentioning that earlier actually, the Rune Tiafoe semis and how Holger had 2 match points, one of them the net cord. Still should have taken it on the other, or just any other way, but definitely a big story back then when he was rebuilding his form. We were excited to see the Sinner Rune matchup. I think by now we kind of know that he would have lost to Yannick, but at the time, you could have some doubts. Any challenger matches worth watching tonight? The one right now, Budkov Kier Torres, because of what's happening, because of Nikolai potentially about to lose that winning streak or save 3 match points to keep it up, definitely stands out. I've been following it as well while watching this. Do we have anything exceptional later? I mean, the events in Cancun and Sumter, they will only start their qualifying, right? So, and these qualifying draws, just like typically at these second week Masters events, they aren't that amazing. So, to be honest with you, I don't think it's a great challenger lineup. You're probably good sticking with the ATP Tour today, I think. There could be a couple of interesting players in the qualifying in Cancun if you feel like watching someone like Hase in singles again, or I don't know, Matos. There's just a few doubles specialists we don't see in singles anymore competing there. So that's kind of funny, but otherwise, yeah, probably nothing that crazy. Tomorrow will be better though, because the main draw will start in Cancun and Sumter, and main draw will be basically at its peak in terms of the sheer number of matches in most of these events. Today is definitely a bit slow on the challenger front, I'd say. Mondays tend to be like that, and then Tuesday is generally massive. But especially this week, Monday is a little slower because of that Cancun and Sumter, starting the day late, a day later. Anyway, Alex Michelsen, last chance game, you could say that, I think. So far, the serving is at least giving him a chance here. 2 unreturned serves right away, giving him a 30 love lead. It's a very weirdly paced match. I mean, you can see they're both struggling with the heat, and the rallies just don't really get the space to shine here. You've got another deep return from Rune, and Alex is just, not able to move the feet in time, and it's like a lot of that basically. Michelsen at the net, but that squash shot from Rune was really good. What the hell is that exchange? What's happening here? I mean, Rune just kind of gave up on that last ball, and it still was just a net cord from Michelsen, unless there was a touch call here. I don't honestly know. Yeah, I think there was a touch call here, right? I don't even know. I mean, this is pretty insane. Okay, we're gonna see it now, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, crazy point at the net, and Michelsen wins it, then has another unreturned serve. So he is finally in the clear in terms of getting his first game on the board in the second set. I still have no idea what just happened. Craig Boynton is trying to fire him up. I mean, obviously, he's done it before. He sees that his player is on the verge of half tanking the match, I suppose. And maybe, well, Rune is, I think, switching his racket now after the first point. Something not right there with the tension after the new balls came in, as he dumped his backhand slice into the middle of the net. Loses the first point. Ace will help massively. And that's another big save from Rune. I mean, maybe I was a little too harsh on his serving earlier when I said that it's mostly Michelsen, with these, like, basically half first serves being unreturned, that it's more on Michelsen and, him trying to go so all out. Because now Rune finds another ace. Oh, no, sorry, it's a let. Okay, yeah, because if he hit that serve, that would have been insane. Okay, but still, 2 great ones in a row. This one is really slow, interestingly. Anyway, we're gonna finally have a bit of an extended point, and Rune sends Michelsen a little like wide to his forehand, and at this point, this is too tough for Alex physically. You can see like the only option he has by that point is just to slap it. Okay, guys, I'm back. That was my tab just crashing. Sorry. Anyway, there were a lot of comments in the chat as well after Holger won this game for 4-1. Let's see what was there. I mean, questions about betting, I honestly don't want to answer because I don't want to then be responsible for your money. If we just look at it from like a tennis standpoint, I mean, Raducanu plays Sabalenka. It's a tough matchup. It's an amazing win if she gets it done. Sabalenka is obviously the favorite. Raducanu's new coach. Can you remind me who that was? I don't even remember now. I'll check that, but it's it's a big name. I mean, Francisco Roig, the guy who worked for Rafa, right? I mean, what do I know about him? More some stuff from his tennis career, and then that he worked with Rafa, right? But it's not like we get that much content from like behind the scenes. So yeah, that's all I can really say, to be honest. Obviously was a valued member of the Rafa team, but that doesn't mean he's going to be fantastic in other avenues, but he could. Tony Nadal was an interesting case, right? Of just kind of being a fantastic coach for that particular player, for his nephew, but then maybe not necessarily the other, for other competitors. I don't know. Would I put Mboko on the same level as Mira? Are they similar level talents? I think they might be, but Mira will definitely have a bit of a more, just consistent play style and more options in her toolbox. Even if Victoria, she's a power player, but she does have margin. But I think Mira has a better chance to have like a stronger career. But they both have pretty much insane peaks that, I don't think they're limited by pretty much anything. Świątek US Open, I'd like to see, how she still responds to like a powerful opponent on hard courts with these light balls that the women are using in during the US Open series. Obviously lost to Towson last week. The range of players that she can lose to on a medium fast hard court is much bigger. She's gonna be in the mix, but there's no massive favorite for any slam on the WTA tour. It can really go to like 10 different players probably. So she's always right there in the mix of contenders, but I don't think we're gonna be at a point where we're entering the US Open and thinking, yeah, she's gonna win it. Arena could be in a spot like this, but obviously this year she's kind of failed in the most important moments in the slams. And even though she's still been the most consistent players of the season, yeah, she doesn't have that one major title. Easy game for Michelsen here, 4-2 up now, Rune. And if the serves still get unreturned so much, I don't really see how Michelsen comes back. And this one was not really on Holger putting in something insane. I just think that Alex is pretty destroyed by now. Another unreturned serve, so it's gonna be tough, really, in this way to try to come back. Finally, we have a point. Alex going back and cross court and getting a deep shot at the Rune forehand, forcing the error. Yeah, it's kind of tough to watch this match. I've said it before, but they're basically just both really not enjoying themselves in these in these very hot, extreme conditions in Cincinnati. So it's a mess. 30-15 Rune. And it's another serve missed by first serve return missed by Michelsen that he kind of falls directly into his strike zone, but he's just trying to smash them so deep and so powerful through the middle of the court that they barely ever find it. And it's 5-2 Rune. It's another game with like no story because you've got 3 unreturned first serves and they're not amazing deliveries. It's just Alex isn't really doing it. Isn't capable right now, it seems, of doing a better job on them at the moment. So basically, this first set tiebreak is still kind of deciding how the rest of the match is looking, with Rune having all the momentum. Seven, 6, 5-2 after 31 minutes in the second set, and it's just been, entirely decided by the momentum, by one break early on. Let's see if Michelsen still has any fight left in him. The box has definitely been active in trying to get him to, just compete a bit better, because the last few games, I just don't think he's been in the right headspace, to be honest. Couple of bigger forehands, but I think Alex is wrong to let this one go. Yeah, it's gonna fall on the baseline. So just 3 points away from winning the match right now, Rune. That's a funky one, though, from Alex. That cross-court forehand, really sharp, really wristy. Just barely scrapes over the net, but it was the right shot to go for, at this particular moment. Budkov Kier has survived, so the win streak goes on. 11 wins in a row, and he saved 3 match points to keep it up in a pretty insane match against Juan Bautista Torres. And Alex Michelsen makes a double fault at 30 all, which will give Holger Rune his first match point. Second serve. Will Rune be looking for a chance to strike at it? Sort of. He feeds the ball to Michelsen, who's going to go to the net. And I think that pass from Rune will just miss the mark. Was a pretty similar shot to that second point of the game, to be honest, when Alex let it go and it fell onto the line, but not in this case. The fitness coach, of course, the former fitness coach of Djokovic, right, is like shaking his head. Definitely not the best match for fitness, but he is out fitnessing, I suppose, Michelsen. Alex goes for the ace down the tee and lands it right into the corner. So maybe this match still has some legs. By the way, another brutal battle right now on the courts in Cincinnati. Rinderknech and Auger-Aliassime, they've only played 16 games. It's 7-6, 1-2 from the Canadians' perspective. So it could have been even worse for Michelsen and Rune, I suppose. But anyway, for now, they are at 7-6, 5-3, and Holger about to serve for the match. Let's see if there's anything that he can do here, Alex, to to just try to fight back. The last few games haven't suggested it. The last few return games, at the very least, and it's another missed first serve return. Just Alex is just slamming them and missing all of them. I think at some point you have to reconsider, right? Especially when you're trying to serve to stay in the match. Good counter from Michelsen. He will try to approach the net, but he just misses that backhand cross court as well. 30 love, Rune. Two points away in this very weirdly paced and pretty brutal match for both players. And now just one win. Alex tries to mix it up on the return here. So, well, he kind of listened, but a block return did not even make the net. So 7-6, 5-3, 40 love. It's 3 match points for Rune. It's actually match point number 2, of course, after the previous game. Gonna be a second serve. Monster second serve return as he just comes in and blasts the ball away for a cross-court hit. Too much points left to save. I mean, it's not over. It's not over till it's over. Holger Rune, as Jean mentioned in the chat earlier, wasted too much points in Cincinnati last year. Now he's already had 2, and he's got another 2. If he had 4 against Frances, I think he wins that semifinal last year. Does he win today against Michelsen? Yes, because of a serve on the line. Michelsen tried to guess early, go to the forehand side, but it is a serve down the tee or maybe at the body, but Michelsen was already away. It's a quick handshake at the net. I think Michelsen just wants to be off the court right now. To be fair, Holger probably does too. In terms of any analysis for the match, I mean, they both struggled with the heat. That is obvious. I just think winning the first set tiebreak, somehow scraping by there, that was so massive because it just gave Rune the momentum, but it also hindered Alex a lot. Seems like he wasn't in the right mindset to keep competing after the first set. I do think there's some positive tennis takeaways as well for Rune, as in like in the first set tiebreak, okay, it featured some awful volley misses from Alex, but Holger was also playing a bit more instinctively, creatively. He knew how to keep Michelsen just a tiny bit uncomfortable, and I do think it gave him some sort of an advantage there. Like the fact that he has all that wide, varied repertoire, he was able to use it in a match where it's very tough to compete, in a match where it's basically a battle of attrition. Neither guy is good at this. Both have been struggling in extreme weather conditions before, or just in their careers. So I do think there's some positive tennis takeaways, but certainly a weirdly paced affair in the fact that, yeah, I mean, you could see both players are just not at their best at all, and they're mostly just trying to handle it rather than, are able to compete and bring their best and think on the court. Whoever actually was thinking more on the court was probably going to win, and it was Rune for sure. I'm also seeing the stats here. Michelsen, 34 unforced errors, 15 and 16 in terms of the ground strokes, 15 of the forehand, 16 of the backhand. That definitely stands out. Just 7 more points won by Rune. It's not exactly a landslide victory by any means, but 29 out of 63 unreturned serves. That's almost 50%. And that's both first serves and second serves, actually, for Rune. So, yeah, I mean, that was a massive advantage for Holger for sure, that on so many service points, he did not even need to play. 9 aces, 4 double faults from him. Obviously, that's also a good benefit in general, but also Alex was just missing so many of these first serve returns kind of for no reason. But yeah, I mean, in these conditions, he just wasn't able to compete at his best, I don't think. 1 hour, 33 minutes. I see that somebody is actually in here with me, which I did not know.
Yeah, I just want to do 2 things very quickly. Can you give us 30 seconds on this question from Snehil?
Aryan Shah, I mean, recently had a couple of nice runs in Pozo Blanco and Segovia. I'm not super sold. I think his game really benefited from the altitude as well in Segovia when his forehand got that nice boost. It's a decent baseline game, but I mean, I'm way higher on Manas Damne than I am on Aryan Shah. I think Shah will be okay, but probably if you're looking for like the next top 100 Indian, I don't really see it yet. But, he's like, 19, right? So a lot to develop there. I doubt that somebody thought that Sumit Nagal was going to be a top 100 player at 19.
And which one of these 8 matches, which will be tomorrow, is of most interest to you? Is it Alcaraz Medvedev?
I mean, yeah, why are you asking me this question? You already know. I didn't even know they were playing. That's how out of the loop I've been,
Yeah,
I saw that Hamad won last night. I was even thinking of watching that match until the end, but I think I fell asleep. But yeah, I mean, Medvedev Alcaraz, that's just absurd. I love it. And also, I think Jean said earlier in the chat that Nardi and Menchik and Alcaraz, right, could meet in the 4th round. So I'd also love to see it, but obviously I'm not going to complain if Hamad Medvedev beats Carlos Alcaraz.
What is it that you like about this? And what is it you like about Medvedev? And what can he do to hurt Carlos? Carlos can hurt himself. We know that. But what can Medvedev also do to hurt him?
I mean, to me, Medvedev is just such an elite ball striker. Yeah, I mean, the guy just hits an amazing ball. That's it. fantastic power, obviously, but also when he's in position, when he's not like heavy-footed on the day, yeah, it's pretty unreal. I've gotten really just well accustomed. Let's say, when he was getting through the Challenger Tour, and not everybody believed in him yet. I was really on that train early, and I just became a big part of it. So I feel very connected to his rise. I still feel like there's a lot more to show. There's a lot of potential for upsets as well. I don't know how it will be against Carlos. I mean, obviously, he needs to like serve super well and have that first strike tennis, because Carlos has so many options. Maybe on hard court, on a relatively fast hard court, he's not going to be able to show them. Like, that's kind of on Hamad to just make sure that Carlos doesn't get the most time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm expecting really, but it's two of the players that I like watching the most, clashing against each other, first time. And obviously Medjedovic, I do still think, even though he broke the top 100 this year, has a lot more to show on main tour level. So it's kind of a big match for him as well, to come up against somebody like this and basically to see how he'll do. Had a match against Medvedev, for example, that was really good this year. I know Medvedev maybe not exactly a top player right now, but he is somewhere there. And yeah, I think he's brilliant to watch. So I'm hoping for a phenomenal clash tomorrow. Will it be too late for me to catch it? Maybe. I will have to see where the Cincinnati Open schedulers are going to put it. Hopefully Nakashima Zverev just gets that night slot instead of that, and I will actually get to see my boy play. I guess also my boy, and you don't even know which one I first called my boy. I was thinking of Medjedovic, but as a proud owner with Vanch of the Iga Carlos Tennis Show, I do have to also call Carlos my boy. So yeah, I mean, when your boys are clashing, you're gonna watch it, right? Anyway, I suppose that's it. Also, I was going to say, Rune is going to play Tiafoe Humbert, so we might get that a rematch of that semi-final from last year, which will be really fun. Of course, France is saving too much points there, losing to Sinner in the final, but the semi was quite excellent, and the net court save is something that everybody remembers. And it's not a surprise that a year earlier Jean is coming onto the show and just talking about this like pretty randomly. I don't think he knew that earlier in the match. I already mentioned it, just because it's Rune. So like it's something that really stuck around, in the tennis community, that match point save from Frances. So it would be a crazy story if they meet again in the fourth round. But we're going to have to wait for the American to play Ugo Humbert today to know. We only have one match in singles, in men's singles right now in Cincinnati, with Rinderknecht and Auger-Aliassime, who are just heading for like a 5-hour clash at this stage, seemingly. Can I end the stream? Yes, absolutely. I can end the stream. And in fact, I will do it right now. So thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you for your attendance and also for your subs. 19K. We are hoping to hit 20 sometime soon. And this was a bit of a return for me to the channel, I think, after a few months. So thank you to everybody who showed up and gave me some, support, I'd say, in the comments, and obviously some very interesting questions as well. And your thoughts are always welcome here. So yeah, I'm just gonna play you that John Silk outro right now so that you see his face again. We'll have some more content coming out on the channel, as we always do. And yeah, see you soon.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.